The choking on your own farts again.
Spit. The burning.
The burning.
You have to go with a really croaky American voice. The burning. A Harvey Weinstein production.
So that's going.
Huh?
That's recording.
Okay. We're going to introduce ourselves, or are you eating jelly?
I'm eating jelly.
Alright, well, hello. Welcome to the Studio 2 podcast with... Say your name.
Jelly man.
Tommy and Ryan. You're the worst.
I haven't got my notes all the time already. Look, there's jelly in front of me. I want to eat it.
So he's eating food and he hasn't got anything ready. He's also using a phone that is about
Yes,
as
I
old
broke
as
my
him.
phone to... Fuck, what the fuck?
He's using an old Nokia because he
I like
broke
the
his
fact
phone
on my
'cause he was
memos,
stupid.
on my memos for today, I had jelly and camera stuff.
Jelly camera stuff.
Right.
Jelly's another story. So, have you got anything you'd like to bring up first?
I've got something I would like to bring up first.
Go ahead.
What day is it, Ryan?
It's Thursday.
What date is it, Ryan?
I don't know.
15th, you dickhead.
15th.
What was yesterday, Ryan?
Valentine's Day.
Do you have any opinions on Valentine's Day? Oh, I should stress, we did
Did you
do a
not do it
podcast last
so
week.
fake?
We didn't do a podcast last week because Ryan was sick, apparently.
I had other stuff to deal with that I told you about.
Yeah. And why didn't you just say you were sick? It's much easier.
Because I don't want to lie.
So Ryan wasn't here the week before we did one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did the one where
No,
I
because I was
said
at a funeral. Was
No.
I?
You were at the funeral, then the burning one happened where I said I'd watch it.
The
My confession is I
burning.
didn't watch it.
Yeah, I
And
guess.
then we didn't do one and then we did. So we've actually...
So you've given 2 weeks anticipation for a fucking film that you haven't even watched.
I haven't had time.
We watched the trailer and everything.
I haven't had time.
The downside to this is it means I can't Google things if we have to. So you're on Google duty
I
today.
haven't had time to watch the film and I'm very sorry because I really did want to watch it. I haven't even had time to do any of the activities I actually want to, like reading or anything like that. I've actually been doing work, which is surprising for me.
Read any good Valentine's Day stories?
No.
Right, what's your issue with Valentine's Day?
My issue with Valentine's Day is it promotes the wrong side of capitalism. And I'm not going to get into the whole politics thing, but it's just a holiday that's based around buying gifts.
Right.
Sure, the whole story that it originated
The whole clinical side of it being it's a thing just to spend more money on stupid cards that are pointless and get flowers
Yeah.
and all that lot, I kind of agree with. Well, no, I do agree with because it's sort of the point. But don't you think it's a nice thing? But it's not nice to feel like you have to do it, but it's nice to feel like you can spoil someone on a day. And before you get into that, yes, I think you should spoil people on any day. But I think it's
I'm against
nicer to
that.
do something on Valentine's Day than it is on
I think the
a
holiday
day.
in spirit is fine. The fact that it's about closeness, togetherness, and appreciating each other, that's fine, and I like that bit. Sure, if you want to go out for a meal and celebrate your relationship, great. I just don't like the fact that as soon as Valentine comes around, people are just advertising gifts instead of as opposed to the day. People aren't
Yeah,
celebrating
but it's
the
the
day,
same
they're
with Christmas
celebrating the
because
gifts
you're not
you
going to
get.
buy Christmas. You're going to buy Christmas gifts.
No, but it's just the whole consumer part of it. No one thinks about the story and it's based around, look, they just go, oh, I guess I'll get some
What
chocolates.
is the
and some
backstory of Valentine's Day?
The backstory is, as I remember, I think it's a Greek
To
backstory.
Google
No, because I've actually learned. I'm a big history person.
the history of Valentine's Day. So I just did Romans and
history
shit.
was the one grade I did good in school.
Did good. Apparently it wasn't
Because
English.
it's Saint Valentine, isn't it? That's the person it's based around, and I think it's sort of like a Romeo and Juliet situation where this Western Chinese feast day. The fuck are you on about? Wiki? I thought it was Greek.
You did good in history then, yeah.
Saint Valentine. Yeah, I did. I'm sure it was Greek.
I just realised I was leant really close to the mic eating jelly then.
Right, I might be wrong.
Just read what it says on Google, and if it's wrong, then people can blame
It was
Google.
Rome. That was it. It was a priest of Rome who was in prison for. No, that's religious stuff. Right.
Okay, so we don't know what the cause
So
of
the story I
Valentine's
remember
Day
is it was a guy who was infatuated with a woman, and
Bit rude.
I think he married her. I can't remember. I know it was definitely a backstory. It was in Greek or Rome times, and it was like a Romeo and Juliet situation where it's a woman who was forbidden. I think.
So, there's the jelly
I
then.
can't remember. Jelly's done. That's good.
The answer to the question, what's the backstory behind
Fuck
Valentine's
knows, that's
Day,
the
is I
answer.
know there was definitely a backstory. I still haven't set a timer. I'm doing well.
Set the timer.
I don't know how to set a timer on this phone.
Oh my god.
Can you set a timer on this phone? Set alarms? No, timer.
Set an alarm. Just set it for an hour.
Yeah, but I don't know what time it is. Oh, it does have the time.
If you could hear some clicking now, that's because he's clicking the phone right next to it.
This is what it sounds like when I have to send a text.
I can't believe you're using one of those phones again.
I don't really have a choice. It's this or I don't have a phone.
I know.
It does text, it does phone calls.
Also,
God.
if anyone does watch these videos, and I don't think they do,
Theo does.
Yeah.
Shout out Theo.
can you please tell me whether Tommy sounds like Mark Corrigan?
I
off of
don't.
Peep Show?
Right, fuck's sake.
He does.
Explain this bollocks, or I'll try and work
You
out.
have the
just
same
that.
attitude as this person, and I think the reason you like the show is because it's very relatable for you.
What you're saying is that I am, in some way, relatable to a comedy character.
Yes.
Do you not think maybe that's the point?
You don't do it ironically.
Fuck
You're
off.
just that kind of person.
Shut up.
Oh, that is convenient. Inconvenient. I got
Right,
the line
what's
wrong.
your actual issues with Valentine's Day then? Because on my old phone,
Just
I
that I
wrote
don't like
down
the
notes
consumer side of
on
it.
what I liked and what I didn't like and what I was going to do and how
I don't
was
like the
gonna segue
consumer
it.
side of it. I like the fact that it's about celebrating love and whatever.
Have you ever done anything special for Valentine's Day?
Yes.
What?
I don't know about-
Have you ever done anything that's broadcastable?
What do you mean?
I know what you're
a horrible thing to say. Also, probably just peaked then.
No, it's really low today.
Oh, I'll sit a bit forward.
No, you don't. I'll just sort it out and edit.
No, I went out for a date. I was a school kid, little kid. So we went out for a date.
So I can't remember. I think the last time I had a girlfriend for Valentine's Day. Fuck me, that's a depressing sentence. I don't remember what we did. I think we were in school.
Me and my girlfriend this year haven't done anything, I shall say, because we both don't really like the holiday all that much.
Well, last year I just had a breakup, and I don't remember being miserable. So that's a good thing, I suppose.
Did you break up close to Valentine's Day?
We broke up just before Christmas.
Oh.
But by that point, everything. I can't remember if we were good at that point or if things were kicking off at that point. The troubling love
Probably
life
shouldn't
of me.
broadcast that story, because it's been talked to
I'm
death.
not broadcasting it. I'm saying I can't remember what I did for
Alright.
last Valentine's Day, but I don't remember crying myself to sleep, so that's probably a good thing. This year, it's just been in college, so
Yeah, you've been
do
single.
work
Just say
and-
single.
I am single.
There you go.
I think we spoke about that enough.
Yeah.
I'm not on Tinder anymore as well.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Oh.
I told you that ages ago.
What?
But I remember the first episode we spoke about me being on Tinder and my issues with it. And my issues with
Oh,
it
gosh.
being that I said it didn't work on Android.
Yeah.
That turns out to be true. And one of my mates, who's now broken up with his girlfriend, decided he wants to find someone else, has gone onto Tinder. And he's having the exact same issues as I have. He then went on his iPod and did it, and it works perfectly on there. Apple products, it works on.
I think that's because Android.
Also,
users
I've had
are
another
smart.
friend who got Tinder purely to try and find me on it, and we stood next to each other with the smallest radius, and it runs out of people before it finds me. It doesn't show your account to people if you're on fucking Android. So if you are on Tinder, hit me up.
I'm not on it anymore, but hit me up. Oh,
yeah,
God.
write a comment. Well, the next thing I had to talk about was The Burning, but you haven't watched it, so
Right. Here's the thing with that. I tried to.
you couldn't be bothered.
I downloaded it.
Couldn't be bothered.
Didn't have time to watch the entire length of the film.
So what did you watch?
Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Because it came out like on a certain date. And
I think
completely
that was
forgot about
something
the
I
movie.
wanted to talk about. So.
Yeah, probably was. But you haven't watched the 10 Cloverfield Lane or the original one, have you?
I haven't watched any of them.
That's really bad.
I don't know.
You're a media student. Those are
Explain to
pretty
me.
important.
Right, I'm sick of this shit of I haven't watched a film and I'm a media student. I like films. I've got to
Do
be
you
honest,
want
my
me to explain each
focus is
film in
more
about
on TV.
2 or 3 minutes.
Give a brief overview without spoiling it.
No, because they're all different, sort of.
Okay, give a brief overview of each film. then,
Alright, so
without
first one.
doing spoilers.
First one is group of friends are celebrating a friend's
Wedding.
immigration to Japan
Okay.
to work in a big company. Migration, is that the word? Or the legal version?
The legal version.
Yeah, because there's
I don't know.
Anyway, he's going to go to Japan to work as part of a company, and so it's like a sending off party. Then it all rumbles, and you find out this oil rig in the ocean is blown up, and there's actually something that has thrown the Statue of Liberty's head across the sea. basically, there's this big monster that's attacked New York. People theorise that it's come from the sea because that's where everything originated. That's where all the chaos started.
I've heard that the latest film changes that.
Shut up, because I don't think it does.
Okay.
I've got a theory about that.
I don't know enough about it to argue. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay, I was going to say that the monster dies, but yeah. Monster dies.
Spoilers.
Well, it does. He's announced it. J.J. Abrams has announced that it's dead.
I didn't follow
Read
the
some
scene.
fucking interviews, get cultured.
The only thing that I didn't like about... Hang on a minute, we had an argument for fucking like half an hour
Christ.
about whether or not J.J. Abrams said that they were all linked. You were
Because-
saying they are, I said
Right,
they aren't.
they are all linked.
Who was right?
They are all linked.
No.
They are all
No.
linked. Fuck up.
I said they're in different universes. Who was right?
Technically, we're
I
both
was right.
No, technically, we're
No,
both right.
I was right.
Technically, we're both right.
I was right.
Fuck off.
The universes
They're all
exist.
connected.
No,
They're
they're
all
not
connected.
connected.
They
They're
are.
just in the same
They're all
universe.
connected by one
different
event.
universes. No.
Yes.
No.
That's how everything
What
starts.
happens in 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Right. Fuck's sake. Right, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Woman is escaping what you think is a bad relationship, but
So what's up with this one? This is the only film that I wanted to watch,
right.
but I don't know if that's because I thought the trailer was good or if I just liked the song.
Okay. Right, so in the start, you assume she's escaping a bad relationship. She puts a wedding ring or an engagement ring on the table, leaves, and is driving away. And as she's looking at her phone, she gets hit by a car, crashes. Next thing she wakes up in this bunker, and the guy tells her that the world's basically ended,
Hey.
and that you can't go outside because it's all poisonous and toxic. And through the film, it's sort of a guessing game. You guess whether he's mad and he's trying to keep her captive, and he's just lying because he's got another person there with him that also got into the bunker because he thought things were going bad. And it's sort of a guessing game for most of the film. And it's I'm not going to say anything else about the ending or whatever,
Good.
but it's definitely plays on your mind a bit because whatever happens at the end, you still go back and you think, wait, so what actually was that guy? And or like, what actually happened with that storyline? There's a few different plot points they go from. They never quite
So
finish
you
them.
saying it sounds all intriguing. In my head, that just sounds really fucking irritating.
It is irritating because I want to know the
Sounds like
backstory
they
of it.
haven't tied up any
I want to know
loose
what
ends.
happened to a particular character who's not seen on screen.
I'm going to turn your phone over because it's flashing and it's really annoying me.
only ever mentioned. Oh, Spotify. They're only ever mentioned and they're never seen on screen. But I want to know what happened to that character because I think it's interesting.
Okay, Cloverfield Paradox, what happens?
Cloverfield Paradox.
Did I set the alarm?
It's set years in the future. You don't know if it's on the same timeline or universe as the other two because there's no mention of previous events such as 10 Cloverfield Lane and the big monster in New York. What happens is the world's running out of energy and countries are on like the brink of another world war essentially to fight for the last power. So I think the big powers in this one are like Russia, Germany and
Shock.
the USA and China I think are the ones they mention.
All the big ones, yeah.
And there's a space station and there's like a crew of about 6 people. There's one English person, one American, one Chinese, one Russian, one German, one Irish, and I was right, 6 people. And they're there to basically use this massive hadron collider or particle.
I've heard that it's
particle
supposed to be
accelerator.
reminiscent of the Hadron Collider.
Yeah, it's
and
like
how
a
everyone was freaking out.
superimposed version of it. And they use it and things go wrong, and that's how everything's connected. Because they talk about it in the film. There's
So
a
they
guy that
send
actually
aliens
explains the Cloverfield paradox, and he's the brother of the guy in 10 Cloverfield Lane, by the way. He's got the same name, same last name.
I don't.
So they've got, if they're in different universes, there's a connection with the family there. But he explains that basically, if this goes wrong, it could meld things from different universes into each other. So it could throw creatures from this one into one, and throw people from that one into this one. You can't see without a visual aid, but
Well, you're moving your hands around a lot,
Yeah.
which is really useful for a podcast.
the
But
podcast
still,
can't see.
no.
So we can move creatures from universe A into universe B, people from universe B into universe A. Which is essentially what happens. The monsters that we see in Cloverfield get released into this one, and you can see various glimpses of them.
I just looked down my notes and then got the Love Stinks song from some Adam Sandler film, I think.
Right.
Stuck in
That's
my
the
head.
Cloverfield trilogy so far. The next one is
Stinks.
Overlord, which is based on World War II.
Isn't that the God Particle?
No, God Particle was Cloverfield Paradox. That was the working title.
Oh fuck! I'm so confused.
Yeah, it's
So
they're all
many
connected, though.
fucking films.
They're all connected in some way, so I was right.
Yeah, how are they connected? Because they're in different
Through one event.
universes.
Right, but so we're both
So
correct.
I was right. You do some of your notes because I've rocketed through mine.
Right.
And I thought the burning was going to take up more time if somebody had fucking watched it.
Shut up. I have got something to say.
Do it.
I've got a few things.
Do it. Are you breaking up with me?
Yes.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Netflix? What are your viewpoints on it, honestly, and what's a critique of it you could give? Because I've got a few things that are really starting to annoy me lately.
Right. I don't like, and I really don't like the rating system they've added with the thumbs up or thumbs down.
Right.
I prefer the 5 stars, simple. I think 3 stars works best, but everyone thinks I'm fucking weird for that. Is it bad, decent, good? That's how it works for me. 5 stars, you look at it, you look at a film, you go, that looks alright. Oh, it's 2 stars. It's probably a bit of shit.
Yeah.
Which I then also disagree with, because I don't look at... Do you look at reviews for films when you go and watch them?
I will often try to find one bad and one good one.
I will look at a review after I've watched it.
Okay.
Because I don't like going into a film with somebody else's viewpoint in my head. If someone says, I don't like this film because it's shit and it's clumsy and all that lot, I then find myself watching the film going, oh no, that is a good bit. I understand that is clumsy there.
I've got a good horror film to talk about in that sense.
It can wait, woman.
But it can wait, yeah.
But in terms of Netflix, I don't like the thumbs up, thumbs down system because I think it's a bit...
Yeah.
It's too vague. And I think I'd either do away with it or just not have thumbs up, thumbs down, because then you've got the 76%. I think, is that 76% of people who watched it liked it, or is it? I don't think it is, because there's some films on there that are like amazing films.
Yeah.
That have got like fucking 12% or something. From what I can gather, it's percentage of people. No, percentage of like how similar it is to stuff you've watched before. But at the same time, then I don't understand the thumbs up, thumbs down system and how that would relate to that.
I've got a few issues, and it's more relating to the culture around it that I don't like. No, it's a serious thing, because I think that Netflix has this problem where they release a whole series without a schedule. So it's just the series goes live, and then people
But they do.
binge it in one
but
night.
sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do.
And then a lot of the time, it's wait until next week for the first episode.
People binge it in one night, and then the whole fucking excitement starts about it, where people can't stop going on about it. Then it dies down after a week, and then the next big thing comes
and then
along.
you watch it.
No, but
The door just closed itself.
next person. But
No, there was nobody there.
The next big thing comes along, and then people just forget about the series. I was thinking, if Netflix broke every single series they release into
Yeah, but then they'd be releasing about 8 fucking series at the same time.
Yeah,
You think how
give them
much
more
shit...
time to get them all together?
No, but think about how much stuff they release. If they just put out a bulk of this is the new series of fucking whatever, and then 2 weeks later they go, this is the new... They're not on episode 2 of an 8-series thing. They're just releasing a brand new bit of content for it.
Yeah, I guess.
And especially with the whole binge culture that you're on about, people binge it in one night and then are ready for it.
I just think
You see, the same thing with that. I'm watching a series at the moment called Lovesick on Netflix, which is really good. I love... Right, I've been giddy about this whole thing, and I told you and you giggled like fuck, so don't even look at me like I'm a child. But Lovesick is about a guy who finds out he's got chlamydia, and so has to go back through his like past sexual relationships to sort of tell them, and it sort of tells the story of all of that, along with the sort of ongoing narrative that
reminds me
goes
of
throughout,
Memento.
which is really good. It's better than Memento. It's
Yeah.
got I say it's got a good ending. I've really enjoyed it. The reason I love it so much is the original title was Scrotal Recall, which I think is just fucking brilliant. I saw that and I was like, why did you change it? I love that so hard. But, like, I'm really enjoying it. So I watched the first series and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting into this. Binged the second series in one night. And I've just started the third series and it suddenly hit me that it's going to end and there's nothing new after that because it's a relatively old one. And I hate that
happens
feeling.
with a lot of series.
I don't want it to end.
That happens a lot in the anime side. I won't go on.
See, I like it. I don't want it to end, but it is one of the things that it needs to end because you can't just keep doing the same thing. I'm not entirely, like I said, I've just started Series 3. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to do it. It could risk being repetitive, but I think the characters are like...
Recall with Colin, whatever his name is. Guy who did the remake of Total Recall. Colin, what's his name?
Farrell?
Farrell, that's it.
No.
Oh.
But yeah, that's a really good series, so I would recommend that. What were you going to say? What this is this horror film that you're on about?
No, I was going to say something else about Netflix, and I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, do you watch TV anymore?
I watch more TV than I watch films.
Well,
Be them like series on Netflix or online, or just general TV.
yeah,
I watch a lot of documentaries on actual TV though.
Lately, I've got this feeling that less and less people are going to watch TV to the point where advertising sort of has to find a new market.
You see, that is happening though with YouTube.
Yeah, but YouTube's got this whole problem with I keep getting fucking Bollywood adverts. All right, I'm very sorry to people I've just offended, but
What was saying Bollywood?
it happens to me every single time I've gone on YouTube. This fucking soundtrack comes on, and I read the title, and it's some name that I can't pronounce with some song that I can't pronounce, and then the tune comes on, and I have to wait either the whole song or 5 seconds to get rid of it. Or it's a Russian commercial.
What the fuck do you look at online for that to
No,
be your search?
a Russian advert came up on YouTube. I'll film it once for you. I'll film it when it next happens to me. Or it's the fucking YouTube logo on my screen.
I'll just
for
get
5
the
seconds.
YouTube logo, and occasionally you get
There
some
are
shit
weird
gamers
adverts
video
coming
come
up for
up.
me. It's
I
bad.
think that says more about your search history than anything else.
My search history is clean on my laptop.
You've got Bollywood and on your laptop, Bollywood and Russian people coming up as your like adverts.
Yeah. I don't know why, but it happens to me every single time. Anyway, film. Film I want to talk about was... I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous...
This is a really scattered podcast,
It is, but
but we've already
it
delayed
always
it.
happens. So, in the previous podcast, I might have mentioned the canal.
The canal.
Did I?
I think you did mention the canal.
Very briefly, or did I go in depth?
Describe the canal.
It is a film where a family moves into a new house. So it's every horror film ever made.
Is this the one that basically rips off Insidious? Not Insidious.
No. So I thought it was going to be a rip-off of Sinister.
That's the one.
Because he's a film archivist, is his job. And he gets these jobs, he gets all this film of unsolved police crimes, or solved ones, but the film just needs to be archived or whatever. And as he's going through it, he sees one from the house that he has just moved into,
Convenient.
where the man murdered his wife, and then tested innocent, said he didn't do it, and then weeks later...
Is this Sinister or the film that you're on about?
No, the film. I'm on.
Right.
He then killed his kids, like weeks later. So he starts to see things around his house, and then the whole thing is he suspects his wife of cheating, which she does. He finds out. And then there's this really disturbing, unsettling scene of him in this like public toilet, where he's debating whether he should go back and do something about it, and it's really creepy because he sees things.
This sounds exactly like Sinister. but with
Right?
more
Did you see
toilet
Ethan
scenes.
Hawke in a public toilet?
Okay, so one scene is different.
No, but it's completely
So
different.
what? The house possesses him to kill
No,
his kids and
it's
makes
like-
him paranoid.
It's like a series of things have happened on that house over the years, and there's a bigger conspiracy at large. At the end of the film, you find out, and it's one of these moments where I went, "Fuck! It was that." It's a film that when you read the reviews, everyone says it's too much of a slow burn. It's not got any real plot to it. But it
From your synopsis alone,
but it
I'd agree with
absolutely
the
has,
second point.
But it absolutely has.
Mm.
It's a whole film of him deciding whether he's going insane or whether it's
Why is it called The Canal?
because the house is based on a canal and everything. All the crimes end up
In the canal.
towards that area. And spoiler, his wife does end up dead, and that's why
Okay!
Fine, fine.
Like, don't recommend something to people and then fucking tell them that, oh, by the way.
Well, it's kind of implied that she's going to go.
Yeah, but it could be a plot twist.
No, it's not. Not the house.
No, but I
itself.
hold in like hope every time you get like a character dies,
No.
and then they walk back through the door. And you're like, yo,
But
what's
it's a
up?
very good film, and I think people don't give it as much credit as it deserves. And I can't remember the
Do
director.
you know what else I've heard is a good film?
What?
The Burning.
The Burning.
Watch the fucking film.
All right, I promise I'll go home and watch it tonight. I've got no work to do
You
tonight.
said that 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Left.
A few weeks ago, I had to do work.
Yeah.
You know, because I was really busy and I wasn't doing anything, but then I was complaining that I was busy.
We're not salting other people on our fucking podcast. So yeah, I've recommended Lovesick. Show that I was recommended.
It's very disjointed.
It's very scattered. Just they're not normally well, they're
It
sort
can all
of
be
like
fixed
this.
in post.
No, they can't. You can't. But you haven't got much work to do. I've got to edit all this shit.
Yeah, you got nothing else to do.
It takes fucking ages.
Got nothing else to do.
I hate you. Yeah, a show that I was recommended on Netflix, which I still don't know about. I enjoyed it. They've announced this. Well, I think they've announced a series 2. I don't think it will be any good, but it was weird. It was. Have you heard of The End of the Fucking World?
Yes, to death.
Oh my god! You just do that face for anything slightly popular,
No, I don't.
and you call me a hipster.
No, I do it because.
Why haven't you watched Black Mirror?
Right, I'm about to
Because
say.
everyone talks
No,
about
I'm
it.
about to say the
God.
fucking reason. Just let me.
Maybe everyone talks
Because
about
one
it because
person
it's
will come up to me and
popular.
say, this is really good, you should give it a go, and I'll go, right. Then 2 more people come up to me and say, this is really good, give it a go.
No,
Then 3
what
people
normally
go on
happens
and
is you'll be
on.
sat in a room and someone goes, have you watched this? And then you go, oh no, I'll have a listen. And everyone else joins in and goes, oh, you should watch it because it's really good.
Yeah, because too many people telling me something's going to be good, I just go, right, I
Stop
don't
being
wanna
so
watch it now.
fucking stubborn and watch
No,
it.
because too many people going, oh yeah, this is brilliant, watch it, it's great. I'm just like,
Probably
fuck
because
off.
it's really good.
No, fuck off.
Well,
Stop telling me something's great.
I
to the
did
point where
watch
you
The End
hype
of the
it too
Fucking
much.
World. And I'm going to stop calling it The End of the World because The End of the Fucking World is too many syllables and just makes me sound really posh.
Yeah.
But the basic story is you've got a guy who in the first 5 minutes has already told you that he wants to kill someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird... So, right.
Oh yeah, I know the plot.
So, right, yeah, well, for the podcast. There's a guy who says that he starts off killing animals. He's a bit of a sociopath, and he decides that he wants to kill something bigger. There's a girl who doesn't really fit in at school because she thinks everyone's a bit of a twat, and they sort of latch onto each other, and she's fucking weird. So he decides, hey, fine, I'll kill her, whatnot. Then over the course of the series, they sort of fall in love and all of that shit. And stuff goes down, but I think it's quite. You can. I don't know if it's like you can tell what's going to happen because I've watched a lot of shit and I sort of just think that way anyway. I don't know if it's one of these things that if you just look at it, sit back and go, "This is a film that I don't have to think about," or a TV series, then it's that. But I do look at things and go, "How would I do something?" So with some strokes, it was kind of repetitive, and like I say, one of my friends recommended it to me. They'd finished it before I had got to the end, and we were sat on a bus and we started talking about all of the different ways that it could possibly end. I don't really like the ending, but I won't go into it because that's how you recommend something. Don't just go, spoilers, everyone fucking dies.
Nah, spoilers are fine. Spoilers are everywhere.
But, yeah. What I don't get, or I don't know. Right. I'm getting lower and closer. No.
That's
So,
a bit weird.
the dialogue isn't... It's clunky.
Is it really teeny, angsty dialogue?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's so over the top, I think it's supposed to be. It, screams.
Is it trying to satire many attitudes today?
I think so, but then I don't know, because it's too good at it. It feels like a 40-year-old man has written this dialogue for what he thinks a 17-year-old says. Or 14-year-old, or whatever the fucking hell they're supposed to be.
Or a 17-year-old has written it for what a 40-year-old man thinks a 17-year-old.
Exactly. And I don't know. One of my friends goes to Leeds Uni, and they've been publicising it. And so from what I can gather, someone from Leeds Uni has something to do with it. I don't understand this fucking show, because I think it's supposed to be like a satire, and he's taking the piss out of all these things. Because it does do a lot of sort of swerves and things like that. It is quite good at it. But it sort of grates on me a little bit, and I don't know if I like it. The same as the whole over-the-top fucking... It's like, just chill the fuck out. But then I suppose that's also the plot. If they did just chill the fuck out, then it would be really boring.
Yeah. I haven't watched the streams.
But...
Go ahead.
I haven't finished.
I'll lead on to mine.
They've announced it... Well, as far as I know, they've announced the season 2. Or it's been teased, or something. But they've spoken about series 2.
Yeah.
The end of Series 1, this is kind of a spoiler, but the end of Series 1 ends in a way that you could do Series 2, but I don't think you should do Series 2, if that makes sense. There are ways of writing it. I feel like they finished it and went, yeah, that's good, bang,
Right.
Finished, woo, don't need to worry about it. And then someone went, oh no, I want you to do a Series 2. So they've sort of tweaked it a little bit and now gone, right, we'll do a Series 2 and we'll work something else out. And I think either they're going to do pretty much the exact same story again, which is pointless, or they're going to do something completely different and out of left field, and I don't see what the point in doing that is. Just make something new. I don't know.
I haven't watched... Have you watched the Scream series on Netflix yet?
I've watched the first... Right, I watched the first series.
I've not watched it, and I've really liked
the first series I really enjoyed. I thought it was really good. The second series, I think I watched 2-3 episodes of and just got sick of it. Because the first episode, the first series, I think was really good, clever, worked off of the films and everything played up properly, and I really enjoyed it. And then started watching the second season, and it was just, there was something that really annoyed me, and it was almost like insulting to the audience, and I was sort of going, fuck you.
There is
I gave up with it.
Comedy series that has not been appreciated nearly enough since it came out.
Burning.
Not The Burning. Scream Queens.
Right, again,
That
I watched
show
the first
was
series
so
of that,
good.
and then I can't remember what I watched it on. But whatever I watched it on didn't get the second series, so I never saw the second
Oh.
series. But I liked the first series.
I just like the cast, and purely I like Jamie Lee Curtis as the president of that. Is it a college?
Yeah. Not maternity, paternity.
Headmaster.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah.
The strict one.
I like that because she's a horror icon because
Mm.
of the whole Halloween franchise and the fact that
A scream queen.
yeah, that's the whole. I think that was the whole tagline.
Yeah, that was sort of the point.
And that film, I don't think it's got enough appreciation.
It's a series.
There's so much you can do with the horror genre that no one ever does with it.
I worry that the horror genre you've got. I mean, there is a lot of horror
You've
that
got
you can
The
make.
Burning.
But then I think there's like horror comedy, and there's only so far you can go with. Oh, this thing's scary, but it's wacky at the same time.
Horror comedy inevitably turns into a spoof.
I just think it's fucking irritating. So you see the original Scream, where at that time you've not really got a horror comedy, and then you've got it's still a horror film.
Yes, very
It's
much so.
not like people walking around going boo, whoa, hey, whoa, wacky. That's what I think Americans sound like. But like
Reason,
you've
yeah.
got characters calling things out, and it's like, why the fuck are you doing that? Let's just fuck off, like obviously. And it's like, I like that because it's sort of subtle comedy.
Yeah, the reason Scream I think works
And then
so
I think
well.
horror works really well with subtle comedy because it makes the characters feel more real, and so you don't want them to actually die. How many
Yeah.
times have you watched a horror film? You're going, "Oh, just fuck off."
Yeah,
like,
a lot of times. It's like the reason I think Scream worked so well as a horror comedy is because the characters knew what they were in. Every character knew that it was a film. They didn't ever break the fourth wall, but every character knew what not to do, what to do, and what was going to happen. And the girl in the garage, spoiler for like a 1990s film.
Jesus fucking Christ!
It's a 1990s film.
So someone might not have seen it.
Fuck off. She's in the garage. She says, "Oh, please don't kill me." And all this is a joke, and then he does.
Yeah.
It's just.
Do you want me to
really
play
way it's done.
damsel in distress?
Yeah.
Okay.
Disgrace.
Disgrace.
One horror film that I can't stand is I Know What You Did Last Summer because that film sucks.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It was trying to revive like the whole slasher genre and it didn't work.
Why?
Because the slasher genre inevitably boils down to a bunch of teens. There's the arsehole, there's the pretty one, there's the
Yeah, but every
smart
film
one.
does that. You
Yeah.
break every single film down to it's like minute details. You've got the likable one, the likable guy, the likable girl, or that
Yeah.
character. The two leads are
I
likable.
can't help it.
You've then got the two side characters that are arseholes. The other two side characters that are nice to the lead characters. Every single thing has that. Fucking Titanic has that.
Yeah.
In what world can you relate Titanic with Scream? Like,
No, I wasn't talking about horror films in general. I was talking about the slasher genre.
but every film does. That's what I
It
mean.
doesn't.
It does.
In Halloween.
Right. Yes, it does
It
though.
didn't.
No,
It
but
had mostly likable cast.
exactly, yeah. But then you've still got the characters, the mostly likable characters. You've got the leads. That these are the ones that we want you to like. And you've got the sister and all that lot. These are these like these characters, so you should care about them and like them too. But they're probably
Alright.
gonna die. And
What
then you've
about-
got the other characters where they don't believe them
What's
and
the best
you're
killer
fucking
then?
idiots. What do you mean? What's the best killer?
In every slasher film, so horror film that has a villain, what's the best one?
I like Freddy Krueger.
Why
I like
do
the
you like
original
Freddy
Freddy
Krueger?
Krueger, not the remake Freddy Krueger, because he was just a rapey piece of shit.
Yeah.
The original Freddy Krueger had the thing that I love in villains, where they're likable in themselves. He was sarcastic, funny, and I think if you have a funny villain, you're almost then rooting for the villain, I suppose, which sort of isn't right.
Yeah.
But I think if you can watch a film where, and that's the thing with that, you've got so much like potential with something like that. You can have the villain call out all the bullshit. And so you get someone running to the garage and they're lost on their own. You can have the killer just walking in and go, that was fucking stupid.
Again, someone who's aware of what they're
Yeah,
actually doing.
and it's
yeah.
the thing. I think that works so well. But then I think Freddy Krueger, I like him. He's sarcastic. Then the remake of him is
Turn him into
just the worst thing in the world because
Yeah.
they got Freddy Krueger and tried to make him scary, and Freddy Krueger isn't scary. He's wacky.
What? Said the voice?
I don't know.
Well, my favourite's Jason.
Just stuck in.
And it's been long known that my favourite is Jason. And that one of I'm not squeaking. One of the points about that is purely because I like the Alice Cooper song that was done for Friday the 13th. He's back, it's the man behind the mask.
Jesus.
It's one of the best songs ever. And I like that because it symbolises Jason. But, no. We started to talk about Netflix. That's how we got onto all this.
Well, I've got one thing left to talk about, and I kind of want to save that to the end because I haven't got anything to lead on from it.
Go on, just say it now.
Well, there's no point.
Might as well.
Right. First couple of episodes, we made a point of saying this isn't going to be a film podcast. Because it isn't.
It has devolved into one, though.
Well, like I say, we like films and TV. It's
Yeah.
probably going to be it is the major topic of our conversation. There's very little that we talk about that isn't like sort of relating to that. So that's just going to happen in general. But one thing I wanted to say is there wasn't going to be reviews and things like that. Now, I'm not suggesting we do a review because I think that just ends up getting bogged down and a bit shit. What I do like the idea of, and I don't know if it would work, so I'd like to try it, but I like the idea of doing, there's a series on Jinx, I think, where they do it on games, and it's called The First Hour. So you play a game for the first hour and give your impressions on that hour. Obviously, it's easier with a game because you can just stop.
Yeah.
I like the idea of doing that with a film. So you watch the first hour of a film, or the first hour of a TV
You have to do
series.
the first half hour of a film, because films are generally an hour and a half long-ish.
So, but I'd say like the first hour of a TV series. So you watch the first episode, or the first 2 episodes, or whatever. I like the idea of having that, and then sort of going off of having a discussion then of where you think it's going to go and things like that. But then the issue is, if you're going to watch a film, like an hour of a film, and have a discussion on where you think it's going to go, if you've then continued to watch the rest of the film, there's no point. And if you're then going to go back and watch the ending of the film to see if you're right. So Memento you brought up. We watched Memento, and about halfway through, I turned to you and said that I think, fuck it. If you haven't watched Memento, skip forward to this bit, because I'm just going to spoil it. It's confusing enough. If you have, then you know what it's about. Good, because I'm not explaining it again. But about halfway through Memento, I said to you that I think it's going to work back to the night where his wife was raped and murdered, and it's going to turn out that he's killed the wrong person. Because I think that had more of a bittersweet thing of he's happy, because as far as he's concerned, he's done it now. He's got his revenge. But the audience knows that he hasn't. So sort of you feel happy because he's happy, but at the same time, he's not actually achieved anything. He's still in the same situation if his wife was murdered for no reason. And instead, what actually happened when it turns out you've got the copper and it's just like, it's some bullshit. Like, he took sympathy on him in the fucking original case, and so he just finds someone for him to kill.
He gave him people to kill that were also involved in cases that he needed to solve, wasn't it? So that they both got sick out of it. Yeah, I don't know.
But I prefer the idea of, like, he's found this guy, and then you work the whole way, because the whole time you're thinking, well, you're supposed to be thinking it's that guy. I think we were sat there going, it's not that guy, because you want me to think it's that guy so
There's
hard.
too many times where he goes that.
But I like the idea, But I like the idea of having it work right the way back to that night, and having it. And it could literally be like the last shot in the film of you realise, like, this guy gets in his car and turns to the camera, and it's not him, and then you'd know that he's got the wrong person. And I think that's just such a better ending, as it is when he goes and gets a fucking tattoo and the camera cuts. It's like,
fucking love it. Another horror film.
But yeah, if you like the idea of doing the first hour reviews, then say yes there, and we'll do it.
Have you ever watched Ghost Ship?
Ooh, no.
Really kind of okay horror film.
Yeah.
And it leaves you with an ending of, that person's fine, it's happy. Then the camera focuses on one person, and there's this really horrible moment of you see it's all going to happen again. And at that point, I shit you not, I just went, oh, because I was really happy, and I love it when the film will take an expectation and completely throw it out of the water in a good way, not a bad way where you think something really good is going to happen and then it falls flat on its face.
I think in horror and things, nobody wants a happy ending as such.
Have you watched? You haven't watched Monsters, have you?
Monsters.
The film I showed you the other day. How about for next podcast, I'll watch The Burning.
Burning.
Give my feedback on that. And you watch the first bit of that or the full film.
Is it on Netflix? Because I'm sort of limited to Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not, I'll pass you the membership version of it. Completely legal. If you want to watch just the first half and then tell me what you think is going to happen, or you can watch the full and give your feedback on how good it was or how dire it was.
I shall.
And then I'll do the same thing with
Although I
mine.
may also watch Ghost Ship because I'm intrigued.
Ghost
I seem to remember Ghost
Ship.
I'd watch Ghost Ship.
This ship that had it was like a cruise ship, and
Well, don't spoil it for me.
things went down. And I think it's been drifting in the ocean, and there's
Yeah, I'm
like
sure I've heard
there's like a salvage team that want to have a look at it and see what they can salvage, and that's basically the start of it.
Just sort of do what they do.
Yeah. Oh, there's
Ooh.
another. What's this film called? Yeah, keep them busy because I need to find this.
Keep them busy. The peasants that listen to our podcast.
Keep all one people happy. Keep Theo happy.
We get about 7 views. I feel like Theo's getting too much like view time.
Thanks.
Go
viewer
check out
one.
TTNJ for some quality
TTNJ.
gaming content. That's his channel name.
Is it his channel name?
Or Centuri Flow
Don't give.
for the rivals.
The rival podcast. Right.
I would genuinely like to get. I know I've been saying about guests and that. Part of me would really love to get Ryan or Ryan from their podcast on, because I'd like to have an argument with them. I'd like to have a proper discussion, not political, but about something that we have opposing opinions on. And I'd like to have that discussion and have it on tape or record.
Right, so there is a specific actor that is in both of the films I'm about to say.
Right.
Right, Jude Law, what's your opinion? Good actor, bad actor?
I like him, but apparently everyone thinks he's an arsehole. But I think that's because he slept with some woman or whatever. I don't know.
What do you think about... You've watched Gattaca, right?
No.
No.
What's Gattaca?
It is a film
like a
where... it's a film in the future where your genes can be changed before birth.
Oh, yeah.
And then this guy who was just like the runt, essentially, wants to pretend he's someone else to then take part in a space mission.
Yeah.
Good film, very good. But the film I want to bring up is Black Sea. And it's about a submarine team that want to find an old German sub that was carrying like a load of gold. And it's so suspenseful. I think it's an excellent
I love
film.
suspense in films.
For some reason, now this is really interesting. I'm going to read you the review scores,
Ooh.
but I'm not going to tell you any reviews. So Rotten Tomatoes, 80%, pretty good for a film.
Yeah, I don't trust Rotten.
Neither do I.
That's a bollocks.
The Guardian, 4 out of 5, again, pretty good score for a film. For some reason, IMDb rates it 6.4 out of 10.
So I tend to trust IMDb now.
I tend to not trust the scores. I tend to look at a review if I can, like a fun again, or
Yeah.
a good one, a bad one. But that is a film that I think, again, it's a bittersweet ending, like you say. But no, definitely want to try out that Monsters, and I'll try out The Burning. So I'll give you loads of shit to do.
I
And then
can't think what the film, as well as editing this podcast, I can't think what film I watched the other day that was really good. Right, no, I can think of a film that I watched the other day that's not really good.
Oh god.
Damien Hirst. He's a arty man, isn't he? Google that, please, because I'm not sure I've just said the right name. I don't want to rip into someone and find out he's actually a really nice guy.
Slander.
That's complete slander. I think the guy's a cunt if it's him, but you know. Geezer what put a fish in some glass and got millions of pounds for it.
English artist, entrepreneur.
Yes, that's the bastard. All right, look up Tales. No, yeah, Damien Hirst, Tales of the Unbelievable or something, or Project. Basically, he's put a documentary.
Unveiling.
Eh?
Treasures from the Wreck of the
That's the
Unbelievable.
one. Right. So the man has put up a documentary on Netflix. As
Right.
you know, I quite like documentaries.
Yeah.
It's about marine archaeology and all that lot, which my dad had a fascination with. So we sat down to watch this film together. We sat there watching it, doing all right. It's a little bit weird that Damien Hirst was in it, not going to lie, speaking about his art, and I'm like, what the fuck have you got to do with this? But then they sort of give the thing of he wants to make this exhibition. It's like, okay, whatever. Just, it's not, and it's like, oh, I want to give the people something they've never seen, apart from if they've been to a museum. But it's giving you all this shit, and you're pulling stuff out. And immediately, we were a bit suspicious, because we're watching it, and they pull up this wreck, and it's like this fucking perfect gold monkey, I think. And you're looking at it going, it's a bit weird, because you've just pulled it out of a fishing net, and it's fucking shiny. Like, that don't happen. And then there was some fucking comment with that as well, halfway through the film, once we'd already decided on it. There's some comment that someone made saying, oh, it was amazing to look at because gold doesn't tarnish.
I'm pretty sure gold.
Yes, it does tarnish.
Yeah.
You stand there, it's like, that's just not true. It's bullshit. And then so about halfway through, my dad turned to me and said, "Is this real?" So I googled it. No. He's made a documentary about pulling up wrecks from the sea that he hasn't actually pulled up from the sea. He's made. And then the reveal, because once we got that, you sit there thinking, I think you're a wanker. Because he's going on about how he makes up all these stories about this guy that travelled and they found his wreckage. All bullshit.
Stuff that he's made to promote his art?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But then there's a slight... I mean, part of me likes the idea of having an exhibition and sort of saying that it's like an exhibition that looks like all this stuff.
Yeah.
But then I think there's no point. We've already got stuff. Like I say, go to a fucking museum. You understand then? It's like, you're watching it and you're like, this is just insulting almost. And then you get shit like gold doesn't tarnish. But it's like, I'm not fucking stupid, you know. It comes up all then. And the final reveal, because I was already looking through his stuff at that point. And the final reveal is there's one guy, I think the second to last shot is like this bust of a guy that they've pulled out and is now in its mounted part in the exhibition.
God.
And my dad made a comment about it looking like Winston Churchill. And then the next shot is Ronald McDonald holding hands with Mickey Mouse, but it's all got barnacles over it, as if it's just been pulled out.
Oh, God.
And you can just tell the entire way through the film, the prick is smirking at you like he thinks he's God's gift to the earth. Because he's come up with this really clever way of trying to fool everyone. I will say, my favourite reviews, you had something like, don't trust this film, unbelievable, what a load of shit. And then just simply wanker, I think, was my favourite.
So...
But it sets up about how amazing they are and all of it, and they've got fucking people pretending that they're actually on this exhibition, and it's bullshit. He's made a pretty gold statue, put it in the water, and then taken it straight back out again, so it doesn't fucking tarnish.
So I'm guessing because of this you don't like Damien Hirst.
I didn't need... Right, everyone seems to have the problem with Damien Hirst, and I was like, I don't know who he is. I don't care. All I know is he put a fish in some glass. Right. It's like, that's his thing. Cool. Fishy guy, you do that. And then on the whole thing, he's on about how he's sold all of his art and he's doing all that. And he made some fucking wanky comment as well. He said something, and it was just like, I really want to hate you so hard. But he just, the whole time, you can see him smirking at the audience like, oh, I know something you don't. It's like, no, because I'm not fucking stupid. I worked out his bullshit halfway through. That's it. I just don't like Damien Hirst anymore.
Damien Hirst?
He's a wanker. Don't watch it, and if you do, just fucking thumbs down it immediately.
I didn't know you could hate one person that much.
I don't. I'm just angry because I like documentaries, and I thought it looked interesting.
So I've never actually looked at the documentary.
There is nothing anywhere. I mean, it's called like fucking things from the unbelievable.
Yeah, something like that.
It does not once say anywhere in any of it that it's like fake, or does it hint at it, or does it say anything like that? And it's described as a fucking mockumentary. Bullshit. Mockumentaries are good and they take fucking effort. You made a documentary but just faked it.
Yeah, you faked a documentary.
And it's shot too fucking well as well. It uses like the black magic stuff. If you were making a documentary, you'd use the JVCs that we use because they're cheap and they're easy. This shot fucking cinematically, which some documentaries are. But I'm sort of thinking it doesn't need to be, and you've just made it even more unbelievable and fucking stupid. Don't like Damien Hirst.
Yeah, I didn't think you did. No.
Anyway.
How long have we been running for?
Not long enough. We've still got 10 minutes.
Oh, we can cut it short. I haven't actually got any other notes to talk about.
Well, neither have I, but I feel like we should talk. How are you?
Oh, don't be like this.
No. So, yeah, at some point I'd like to get somebody else on, and I'd like to have a bit of a debate.
See,
preferably I'd like someone that's got a different viewpoint to both of us.
You have to find someone with a different viewpoint who didn't argue but instead debate.
I want someone that, has a debate, not just goes, you're wrong.
Yeah, not just says, you're wrong.
I'd like to, maybe get somebody from another podcast and we can steal their subscribers.
I see what you're getting at.
No, not necessarily, just a podcast.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But I think it'd be nice to have somebody that we can talk to, and I'd like to have an argument with them because I'm an argumentative little bugger.
So you just want a big old...
Basically,
bash.
I think our podcast is very real in the sense of we have notes, but it's not like we know what each other's thing. I mean, most of the things of how many times in a week do we stand there and go, right, don't tell me, save it. Speaking of which, I'm not going to win this just yet.
Oh, God.
What's your NatWest story? Because I had this
Oh
written
my
down for
God.
fucking months and or
I
days, and
forgot
you
about
wouldn't
the
tell me what it
NatWest
was.
story.
So
Right.
Ryan has a NatWest story.
I went to, basically, my girlfriend has paid for a lot of cons and stuff for us.
Excuse me?
A lot of conventions. Cons. Anime people will know about that.
I don't.
So she paid it, and I said I was paying it back. So I'm paying her back in little instalments here and there because I don't earn as much. And I tried to give her money over Google Wallet instead of person because I thought if I could just send it digitally, then it'd be fine. Second, I tried to send money. Notification from Google Wallet comes through saying it's not allowed, and NatWest says that my card's been blocked and they need to review some purchases. Text to review those purchases never came through. So I thought, great, right, I'll call them up in the morning. So I did call them up in the morning, and I get a lovely woman. She said she's going to put me onto an automated service that can tell me, where I can say whether these purchases were fine or not. I get put onto a deadline. Nothing happens, so I have to hang up and wait 20 fucking more minutes to get to another woman who goes, right, I should put you through to fraud then. No, right, it's no one's fraud, but I got my card. No one's making any purchases in my name. She goes, right, we're going to put you to fraud. And then this Scottish guy picks up and goes, hello.
This is Hamish.
This is Hamish. And it's a really deep, gravelly voice. It sounds like he's not in a call centre, he's in a bar or like a pub. And he goes, after asking for my full name, he goes, right, can I have your full name then, please? And I go, I just gave you that. He goes, right, address. And he's really vicious with the way he's talking. He goes, did you make that payment? I was like, yes, I'm sorry. He keeps asking me these questions, and I go,
I just
yes,
wanted
they're
some
all
sweets.
fine. They're all fine. And he goes, right, card will be unblocked soon. It didn't get fucking unblocked. I had to call up again and do it with a different person. That's my NatWest story.
So is this the thing that I've been waiting for all fucking week? You wouldn't tell me, and it's just a Scottish
told me
bloke.
to save it. I told you it was just a
Yeah,
Scottish
you
bloke.
went, it's a really good story. Your story was you phoned up a Scottish guy and he didn't do anything.
I've been a very vicious, gravelly Scottish guy that I thought was in the pub because he didn't sound like he was in a call centre. He didn't get my card and
Did
blocked
he ask
up
you for
for
your
shit.
card details or anything like that?
No.
Oh, right. You sure?
Yeah.
Anyone buying haggis or something on your account?
No, but that's immediately what I wanted to say when he answered the phone. Because he answered it, and you know when you take you do like a double take, and you go, what the fuck was that? That happened. It was bad.
Well, I don't think there's much sense in trying to pad out the next 8 minutes of this podcast.
No, it's fine.
And we run over quite a lot.
Not all of them have to be long.
No, we aim for an hour, but we're very boring and we've had way too much time apart.
Yeah.
I think this is the issue because we haven't recorded. We've just spoke a lot, and so we don't really have any stories to tell.
Yeah.
So that's your fault.
My fault. I've recorded yesterday.
I was here last week.
Look, I was.
Look.
Bye.
All right, so we aren't going to do one next week because we're not here.
I mean, I'm fully committed to doing one next week, but if you don't want to, that's fine.
I'm not here.
Yeah, see, that's him again. So.
Okay, so it's one each then. So we won't do one next week because I'm not here, unless you want to replace me, get a guest.
No.
No, you want to
It's like
talk
replacing
anime?
a turd with an even shinier turd.
Am I the shiny turd or
You're kind of shiny.
I'm like a bronze turd?
Bye.
So we won't do one next week, but 2 weeks we'll be back, and hopefully it'll be less scattered than this.
We'll have more of a format, I think. Not a plan, but...
We'll just have a bit more notes, because slowly my notes have been... Well, no, I had fucking loads
Once
of
you
notes.
get a phone, you'll have notes.
Well, I had loads of notes. I just need to get my screen replaced. And I'm going to Leeds next week, so hopefully some of the phone will happen there.
Auto blast repair.
Not on phones. Right, well, you've already stood up, so I take it you're leaving.
I thought we were ended.
Not yet, no.
Oh, come on. Just end the
I was signing off.
Sign off, then.
Well, you did the proper intros. I
Right.
did the proper outros. So, you have been listening to the Studio 2 podcast with me, Thomas Reed, and
Ryan.
Ryan. Next week, we're not going to be here.
Oh, I'm so sorry for how gay he sounds.
But this is my Radio 2 voice. Hey.